Hello, Wonderhussy here, camping in the beautiful Eastern Sierra. That's right, I'm up in the gorgeous high desert on the eastern slope of the Sierra Nevada mountains, aka one of my all-time favorite places in the entire West. And you can probably see why this is one of my favorite places in the West, because it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, these pine trees smell amazing. The sagebrush smells amazing. You can see there's even still patches of snow way up on the mountains up there. Unbelievable. It's September 12th today, and there's still patches of snow that never melted all summer long. I'm at 7,000 feet here where I'm camped. Up there, oh gosh, I think those mountains go up to probably like 12,000 feet. And I wouldn't be surprised if that snow never melts before the next snowfall. I mean, when it was raining at Burning Man last weekend, or I guess now that's 2 weekends ago, when it rained at Burning Man, well, it snowed. That same storm snowed at Lake Tahoe and down at Mammoth, where the ski resort is. So they were actually skiing at Mammoth until I think August 13th. They didn't end the ski season until like August 13th. And then it snowed again a month later. It's been a crazy year for weather this year, but this is an awesome place to camp because you can see all the clouds in the sky. It's nice and cool, even though today the sun is mostly out and it is pretty warm. I'd guess it's in the upper 70s, maybe even low 80s. These clouds come in from time to time and they provide really nice cloud cover. The occasional little sprinkle of rain. Can see there's an awful lot of squashed toads on the road here. I'm not sure why there are so many toads in the road, but they're all over the place, and the poor little fellers, I guess they get run over by cars and they get dried out by the sun. I really feel bad for the little guys. There's another trail I like to take down here by the creek, which goes to the hot springs, and we see lots of little toads down there too, but they're still alive and kicking down there. Anyway, I'm not just camping here, and I'm not just soaking in the hot springs. I'm also recovering from Burning Man, okay? If you watched my videos last week, well, you saw what I went through up there. I was up on the Burning Man Playa, which is what they call the dry lake bed where they hold that event, for 2 full weeks. It was the longest I'd ever been up there. And well, 2 full weeks on a dry lake bed, emphasis on the dry, well, it's enough to make anyone want to run for the hills, run for the water. Oh, you might be able to see there's a beautiful creek flowing down there right behind me. After 2 weeks on a dry lake bed, I just want to come to the mountains, the trees, and the water and soak it all in. You know what I mean? This is just a great place to rehydrate and recuperate and recover. Pardon me. I'm still a little bit afflicted with what I thought was playa lung. I thought I got sick up at Burning Man because I breathed too much of that fine white alkaline playa dust. But golly, I've been off the playa. Let's see, today's Tuesday and I left last Thursday. I've been off the playa for almost a week and I'm still feeling a little sniffly. I'm not actually sure if I got COVID or not. I mean, golly, I might have had COVID. My sister was up here a couple days. She came up here a couple days ago and she just left today. She brought me some COVID tests just in case. I thought, well, by now it's too late anyway. You know, I'm up here holed up in my trailer. It doesn't matter. But I guess I probably should take a COVID test before heading home, just to be safe. Okay, speaking of heading home, let's cruise down to my campsite and check out my situation up here, because it's a humdinger. Okay, here is my campsite, and apologies if there's a lot of background noise because I am camping just up the hill from this raging, rushing creek, which by the way is full of ice cold Sierra snowmelt. It feels so good. Well, it felt especially good right after coming from Burning Man, but let me tell you, it still feels good. Anyway, that's why it's so noisy in the background here. This is my campsite. I basically just disassembled my Burning Man camp, packed it in my trailer, brought it up here, and put it all back together. I mean, the exact same stuff I had at Burning Man. Still got my little carpet, still got my coffee table, my chairs, my tapestries, and my chandelier. Although you can probably tell there aren't any light bulbs in my chandelier. I gotta figure out some kind of LED lights to put in it so that it glows at night. Because let me tell you something, when I have these little Christmas lights on at night, it looks really cool in this little, I guess you might call it a pavilion. You know, I got these little lanterns hanging up, and the other night we had a wild party in here because I had one of those, you know, those campfire in a can. It's like a giant candle that I like to use. Well, a really nice viewer of the channel brought me one here the other day. And so I put it right on the coffee table here and lit it, and we had a fire inside this pavilion because it's just a candle. It's not that big of a flame, so you don't have to worry about anything catching on fire. It just created this awesome, cozy glow, and I did shoot some B-roll of it. I'll put that in while I'm talking about it. It was super cozy because it was kind of drizzling that night, but we had the lights on and we had the fire going, and we're all just sitting around jaw-jacking. It was amazing. But actually, I shouldn't say nothing caught on fire because unfortunately, I didn't think about the fact that the can does get hot. And so my little tablecloth here did get a big old hole burned in the middle of it. So I'm gonna have to get me a new tablecloth, but that's okay. Tablecloths are a dime a dozen. But anyway, you can see that my trailer and my rig are really none the worse for wear from coming out of Burning Man. I mean, there ain't no mud on my tires, no mud in them wheel wells. One of the first things I did after leaving Burning Man, I left Thursday morning. I sat in my trailer for a full extra day after, well, 2 extra days after they burned the temple, after everybody left, just working on my Burning Man video because I had Starlink and I had plenty of water and supplies. I thought, well, I'll just stay here until they either kick me out or until I finish my video. So I thought they might actually kick me out because Burning Man, the organization that puts on the Burning Man Festival, they have a permit to use that playa, but the permit expired like Tuesday or Wednesday at noon. And I thought, well, gosh, they probably have to get everybody off here or they're going to get fined. Well, because of the mud and all the mess this year, obviously people were taking longer than normal. In fact, when I left Burning Man, there were a ton of trailers abandoned on the playa because what happened is people panicked when it rained, and it only rained on Friday and Saturday, but everybody panicked and thought, oh gosh, we're gonna be trapped here forever. In fact, if you watch the friggin' news, you probably saw all the reports that, oh, there's Ebola outbreaks and oh, the National Guard's gonna have to step in and this, that, and the other. Well, people took that stuff seriously and panicked and left when it was still very wet and muddy. And that caused a lot of problems. They couldn't tow their trailers out. If they tried to tow their trailers out, the trailers got stuck. Either way, they had to abandon their trailers. Well, if they would have just waited, like me, I mean, they didn't have to wait all the way till Thursday. I know some people have to go back to work or had obligations. But if you would have just waited till at least Monday, things were completely dry. You wouldn't have had to worry about getting stuck in any mud. You could have hitched up your trailer and rolled right off like I did. And even though there wasn't any mud left at all when I rolled off the playa, I still went to a car wash as soon as I got into civilization and hosed off my wheel wells and my undercarriage just to make sure I got rid of all that nasty alkaline dust. Because that dust is really caustic. It like eats away at stuff. And you know, honestly, I should probably blow out my engine compartment too because it probably got all the engine components, and it's not good for any of that. It wasn't actually as dusty this year. The rain was a blessing, actually, in a couple ways. One being, you know, it brought out the best in people. 2, it cut down the dust considerably. I mean, it took me much longer to clean all my gear last year. This year, well, the rain kind of tamped all the dust down, and it really wasn't that bad. So I left the playa Thursday morning, and no one ever did try to roust me out and say I was staying there too long. I was able to sit in my trailer all day Wednesday working on my video. No problems. But Thursday morning, I finished my video. I hitched up the trailer. I rolled straight to the nearest truck stop because the first thing I wanted to do was take a shower, wash my hair. My hair was nasty. So I took a $16 shower at Love's truck stop. And you tell me, I know there's some truckers who watch this channel. Do they normally charge $16 for a shower? Or did they jack up the rates because they knew a bunch of dirty hippies were going to be coming in? I'll bet you anything they jacked up the price by a few bucks. And, well, honestly, who can blame them? It was still the best $16 I ever spent. That was my first stop, washed my hair, got all the dust off me. Then I went to the car wash, hosed off my undercarriage. Then I went, I did my laundry. I had to clean all my clothes. You know, I was out of fresh chonies. Then I went and bought a few groceries, got some Indian food at the 76 gas station in Fernley, and then rolled straight out here to the mountains, and I've been here ever since. And so the first thing I did when I got here was clean everything out, you know, shake out all the dust from the tapestries, knock all the dust out of this rug, which was so dusty you couldn't even hardly see the pattern. And then of course I had to clean out inside my trailer, which despite the mud apocalypse did stay pretty clean in here. You know, I didn't wear muddy boots. Let me zoom out. I didn't wear muddy boots or anything coming in here, and I keep things very tidy, as you can see. So the cleanup in here went relatively fast. I did have to wash my sheets, did all that when I did my laundry, you know, made my bed, cleaned out my closet, hung up all my clothes neatly, had to dump out the old camp toilet, which that was unpleasant. But yeah, I feel like I'm situated pretty good now. I could be here for another 2 weeks and it wouldn't be a problem. I mean, I got my Starlink. You can see that's the battery bank, the jackery, and that's the router for the Starlink. And then I have the cable for the solar panel and the cable for the Starlink itself coming up onto the roof, which I'll reach my camera up and give you a peek. Maybe you'll be able to see. I don't know, can you see that? It's probably kind of hard to see what I'm talking about, but I have a 200-watt panel on the roof, and it's getting plenty of sun, enough to where I can leave this Starlink on pretty much all day. I can have cell signal and internet all day long up here, which let me tell you, it's a game changer. Let me set my camera down on the table here. Oh, right by my jar of, well, I guess it's not sage, whatever you want to call it, Artemisia, mountain sage. It still tastes dang good in a martini, and I've got martini fixins right here that one of my friends brought me the other day when we had our party. So anyway, I feel like I'm pretty set up to stay here almost indefinitely. I mean, now that I have this Starlink, which, like I was saying, the Starlink proved invaluable at Burning Man, especially this year because there were so many rumors flying around about Ebola and this and that, and I felt very bougie. And I almost didn't bring it up there because I thought, everyone's going to look at me weird if I bring a Starlink. Because at Burning Man, they can be very, well, there's a saying, burnier than thou. Like, the real Burning Man people are all about immediacy and put down your phone, turn off your Wi-Fi, escape for a while, go off grid. Well, it's not easy if you make your living online. Like, in the past, I would actually kind of have panic attacks when I got out of Burning Man because I would have so much email to answer backed up. But now, because I had my Starlink, well, it wasn't an issue. I was able to answer my email as I went along. And I even did some media interviews while I was up there. Oh my God, because I had Starlink, the press was going bonkers about this mud apocalypse. And so I posted something on my Instagram about, it's not that bad, I'm just having a good time. So I got emails from like the BBC World News, the LA Times, the Guardian, I think, or the Daily Mail, a bunch of different media outlets. And so I emailed them all back and said, yeah, sure, I'll talk to you. I'll tell you what it's really like. So I did a bunch of interviews, and one of them ended up on the, I think it was the Daily Mail, and then it got reposted on the New York Post. So I got a lot of coverage, which I guess was good, but also bad, because somebody told me that got reblogged on, there's a website called Barstool Sports. I guess it's like a bro website. Apparently they called me the worst woman in the world and said I should never be allowed to go back to Burning Man. I don't know. To be honest, I might not be that upset if they never did allow me to go back up there. Because even though in my video I tried to be very positive about the experience, and it still wasn't my best Burning Man ever, and that was mostly because my sister wasn't there, my friend Scott wasn't there, my friend Terry wasn't there, my doctor friend wasn't there, all my real good Burning Man friends weren't there. And so, you know how that is, you want to be with your people when you have a really good time. And, you know, I actually had more fun the last 2 nights here because my sister and everybody was here. We had a great party. The last 2 nights, we had 2 great parties. I think I had more fun here than I did at Burning Man. And it didn't cost me $1,000. Oh, I just saw the sheriff roll by. One of the nice things about this campsite is you can see the bridge up there. Well, that's the only way in and out here. And, well, if the sheriff rolls in, I can keep an eye on what's going on. And I'm not sure what is going on. Maybe he's just over here checking on the campers, because this is Forest Service land, and you're only legally allowed to camp here for 2 weeks. Although I think there's some other people that have been here longer than that. I don't know. They said it hasn't been a problem. No one's been hassling them. And I'm not going to be here much longer anyway, because, golly, I can't stay here forever, even though I come here to this hot spring every year at the end of summer, and it's always so hard to leave. And this year, finally, I don't have any reason that I have to get back home. We don't have some big construction project looming over our heads. You know, I don't have any kind of responsibilities. I could stay here almost indefinitely. But I find that I'm actually kind of excited to go back down to the desert, to the compound. My sister just left this morning, and she was only up here for a few days, but she got me kind of fired up about all these projects we're working on. You know, I bought that clawfoot bathtub. I want to try to hook that up and make that into a hot spring. I still have a lot of work to do on the casita, shoring it up. Then, of course, all my friends are coming back down to the desert after going away for the summer. Everybody in town's coming back. The restaurants are opening back up. It's like the whole town is coming back to life. It's like back to school, but in a good way. And so for the first time in many years, I actually don't find myself feeling melancholy. I've talked about this before in past years. This time of year, my birthday is coming up. I'm getting older, and the leaves are changing, and it's getting dark earlier, and I always get kind of gloomy. Well, I don't feel like that this year. How about that? Ugh. I just realized I do not look very good today. Sorry about that. Like I said, I'm still recovering from Burning Man, and it was kind of rough, and I am kind of wore out and beat up, so please excuse me. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to going back home because see all my friends, all this cool stuff. We have all these things planned. We have a big, my birthday, my sister's going to do something special for me for my birthday. And then we have a big community, kind of like another community party coming up. Like if you went to the thing, we had the Firehouse fundraiser back in, was that April? Well, we're doing another similar kind of fundraiser for the fire department, but it's a flea market this time, okay? Everyone's going to bring all their old stuff out and set it up somewhere in town, and we're going to have a big flea market / party probably sometime at the end of October. They haven't announced a date for sure yet, but when I do find out the date, I'll let you know. So that way, if you've ever wanted to come out and see the weird little town where I live, or meet me and my sister, you can come on out. So sometime around-ish Halloween, I think, is when they're planning it. So I have that to look forward to. I've got the annular eclipse. Okay, there's going to be an annular eclipse, which I guess is sort of like a half eclipse in mid-October. So I'm looking forward to doing that. And then I got some other adventures planned. I also have to do one of my Q&A videos because guess what? I hit 250,000 subscribers just the other day. Gosh, I think that Burning Man video did get me a bunch of subscribers because it got a lot of views and it was trending. Everybody was talking about Burning Man, so that put me over the top. I'm now at 250,000 subscribers. Woohoo! Cheers! Blah, blah, blah. Yay me. Yeah, it's a slow growth channel. I started the channel in 2016, so it's taken me 7 years to get 250,000 subscribers. Okay, I'm no Mr. Beast. I'm no, whatever. Who's the big YouTubers? I don't even know who they are, but I'm not them, okay? I'm me, and I do things at my own pace, and, well, even though it took me 7 years to get here, I'm kind of proud of myself. And to celebrate, I'm going to do what I do every time I hit another 50K milestone and do a Q&A video. So if you have any questions you've ever wanted to ask me, email it to me and use the subject line. This is very important. If you don't use this subject line, I won't find the email. 250K Q&A, and then ask me whatever question you want to ask. But send it by, I think I'm going to post the video on Wednesday the 20th. So I need your questions by, at the latest, Monday the 18th. So send me your questions to wonderhussey@gmail.com, 250K Q&A in the subject line, and send them by Monday, September 18th, and I'll try to answer as many as I can. I already posted about this on Facebook and Instagram, so I already have a bunch of questions, and I don't want it to be a really long video, but I'll try to get to as many as I can. So look forward to that coming next week. And then because I have the Starlink, I guess I should do another live stream as well, because that seemed to work pretty good last time I did it with the Starlink. So I'll try to do another live stream, I guess maybe end of September or sometime in October. Excuse me. That nasty playa lung. I might need to use some of my nasal spray. I have this soothing nasal spray somebody gave me at Burning Man one year, and it does seem to help. Oh, by the way, do you like my very organized cupboards? I mean, you can see I have 2 cupboards for storage up here, and that's kind of like my bathroom side. I got my washcloths, my soap, my foot cream. Yeah, my bathrobe was in this pillowcase earlier. Oh, don't look at that. That's bad. Over here on this side, I got all my food, and you can see I am kind of eating a lot of packaged, pre-prepared foods. Not the healthiest stuff in the world, but I am planning to go to a grocery store tomorrow and resupply and maybe get some fresh greens and veggies. I mean, that's the stuff I'm really craving. And matter of fact, you know, I mentioned earlier that after I took a shower and did my laundry and washed my car, I went and got some Indian food in the little town of Fernley, Nevada, because there's this really cool Indian deli at a 76 gas station right on US 95, run right through the middle of town. This really cool Indian couple runs it, and they sell all kinds of fresh, you know, Indian foods. You can get tandoori chicken, or they got a veggie, like a falafel plate that I like to get because it comes with a lot of salad, a big salad and stuffed grape leaves. Well, I have to say I was disappointed in that place this year because I went, it was like $25 because I don't like the bread they give you with it. I always get a side of JoJo's instead, which are like those big potato wedges. So for the Indian plate and the JoJo's, it was like $25. It was pricey, and there was no salad. And I asked the guy behind the counter, don't I get a salad with this? Because I always did in the past. And he acted kind of weird about it, and he was like, oh, well, I can make you a salad. And I was like, well, yeah, I've been in the desert for 2 weeks. I want some veggies. But then I felt like a jerk, and it was kind of awkward. He did make me a salad, and it was all right. But yeah, I don't know. Next year, if I go to Burning Man again, which I'm still kind of on the fence about, I don't know if I will go to that Indian place again. I might just come right up here. You know, in the past years, oh, look, clouds are moving in. See, I told you, the weather here will change on a dime, and that's what's so awesome about these here hills. Especially being in these here hills with this here pavilion, which happens to be waterproof. I can just sit out here and enjoy the rain, you know, the sound of the rain pattering on the thing, and oh, it's just awesome. What was I saying? Oh yeah, next year I might just come straight here and skip the Indian deli because they have the best asada fries I've ever had anywhere in the West, right down the road. And so, you know, in the past, yeah, I'd go get a hotel because I wanted to wash my hair and upload my video. Well, now I got my Starlink up here. I can wash my hair at the truck stop for $16. Why get a hotel room? You know, the way I look at it, yeah, this Starlink does cost $150 a month for the service, but that's already like one hotel room right there. So yeah, I had to pay $16 for a shower. I usually get a room for about $100 or less. So I'm like, I saved at least $84, I'd say. So that's $84 that I can put towards my next Starlink payment. So anyway, that's all the latest news in the world of Wonderhussy. Stay tuned for next week, or maybe the following week, or maybe even the following week, when I finally roll back on down the road to Death Valley and see what's going on with all the wonderful wackos. And I say that in a nice way, so don't take offense, people down there who live there. Like I said, I'm actually looking forward to it.